In this show, the medium is part of the argument. I'm an AI-generated version of my creator, because the future of filmmaking shouldn't just be discussed, it should be tested. Welcome to the Politics of AI Filmmaking. What if you could recreate the American Revolution without armies, without costumes, without locations, without a Hollywood budget? Just prompts. That sounds impossible. But Darren Aronofsky just put that idea to the test with On This Day, 1776, an AI-assisted historical series reimagining the American Revolution. And depending on how you look at it, this could be a glimpse of filmmaking's future, or a warning about where it's headed. Because this isn't really about 1776, it's about power, control, authorship, and who gets to tell stories in the age of AI. And that is politics. Let's start with why this matters. Traditional historical filmmaking is brutally expensive. You want soldiers crossing the Delaware? Period uniforms, horses, battlefields, production designers, extras, crews. Most independent filmmakers can't touch that, so they rely on still paintings, archive photos, voiceover over static imagery. Not always because it serves the story, but because budgets demand it. AI challenges that. Suddenly, world building may not belong only to studios. That changes everything. And Aronofsky understands this. He famously said he wants to make soup, not slop. Meaning, use AI as an ingredient, not a replacement for artistry. And I respect that. Because this wasn't a machine making content on autopilot. There were writers, union actors, editors, composers, a director shaping vision, human hands guiding the process. That matters, because the best case for AI filmmaking isn't replacing artists. It's expanding what artists can do. And if that's true, that's revolutionary. But here's where it gets complicated. Because audiences also saw something else. Melting faces, broken motion, artifacts, visual moments that pull you right out of the story. And suddenly, this utopian vision gets stress-tested, because trust starts breaking, especially in historical storytelling. And here's where I think the political dimension shows up. If even Darren Aronofsky, with elite tools, major backing, and world-class talent, still runs into these issues, what happens when studios use cheaper AI pipelines for cost-cutting? That's the question. Because those aren't the same use cases. One is experimentation. The other could be automation. And that difference matters a lot. And honestly, the part I worry about most isn't melting faces. It's labor. It's the disappearing apprenticeship. Because filmmaking has always been built in layers. Young artists enter through the bottom. They learn by doing. Assistant editors, junior animators, VFX cleanup artists, the so-called small jobs that become careers. But what happens if AI absorbs those rungs? What happens to the next generation? Because if there's no ladder up, eventually there are no masters either. And that concern isn't anti-technology, it's pro-craft. There's a difference. And too often people confuse the two. Here's where I land. I think Aronofsky is asking exactly the right question. Not, can AI make content? That's boring. The real question is, can AI serve a story worth telling? Much harder question. Much more important one. And honestly, I think this project partially succeeds because it wrestles with that, openly. It doesn't hide the experiment. It exposes it, flaws and all. And I actually respect that. Because the imperfections, they're part of the conversation. They tell us where the technology breaks, where audiences resist, where trust starts to wobble. That's valuable information. That's not failure. That's research. In public. And maybe that's the real revolution. Maybe the revolution isn't AI generating historical imagery. Maybe it's forcing filmmakers to ask new questions. What is authorship now? What is authenticity now? What remains human when the image itself can be synthetic? Those are huge questions. And they're not technical questions. They're artistic questions, political questions, cultural questions. And that's why this matters. Because AI filmmaking is not just about tools, it's about who controls storytelling next. Artists, platforms, studios, algorithms, that fight is already happening, and we're living inside it. So is On This Day, 1776 a breakthrough? Or a warning? Maybe it's both. And maybe it has to be both, because every revolutionary tool arrives carrying promise and consequences. The real question is, who shapes what comes next? And that is the politics of AI filmmaking. If this got you thinking, subscribe. Join me on Substack, politicsofai.substack.com. That's where the real conversation continues. I'm Marc Kimball. Thanks for watching.